Hi, everybody. This is Melinda Cooper. I am living the dream, and I'm here with my cohort, my partner in crime, definitely partner in crime, and a great collaborator, Marion LaSalle, owner of Natural Curiosity. Thank you, Marion, for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You know, we have had, it seems like just a fast and furious July. Is that me, or has it just been crazy all over the place?
It's crazy. It goes so fast. It's like, how could it be the end of July already?
Yeah.
Of course, most people want 2020 to speed up to get, to get over on the other side. So I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But it's
you're
going
right.
fast.
If it's a love-hate situation, right? We wanted to hurry to get over with, and God, let's put 2020 behind us, because we don't have a, redo button, right? So it's very much so that we would love for it to be redo. But since we're not, I'm not sure that due to my deadlines and due to my work schedule that I'm ready for it to be gone so fast. And that's what it is. But right now, I was talking to a friend of mine just yesterday, and she called me and she goes, Melinda, they furloughed me. And I was like, oh no. And we look at furlough, I was with the government for so long. We look at furlough, and originally we look at it and we go, wow, that's really, maybe we could do a vacation. Maybe it's time for a haircut, all the different things, thinking that things will be okay. On the problem, thank you, Mary. On the problem with that is that nowadays furlough means you really may not get paid, right? So now people have to turn, guess what, Marion? Their talents into some kind of an income, correct?
Yes.
Yeah,
their passions, their talents, something they know about, something an expert in.
That's right. That's right. And I will tell you that one of the things that I do, and I'm going to say this out loud, is that whenever I get really, really stuck and I need some technical help, or I need okay, let me rethink this. How do I get it? I pick up the phone and call Marion and say, hey, what would you think about this? Can you help me out? What do you think? Right. And gratefully, Marion hasn't left me holding the bag in a long, long time. She's still not into these 5 o'clock color runs. But other than that, she has really always come through with these new ideas. So I think that collaboration is part of bringing out your talents. What do you think, Marion?
Yeah, if you think about people who have been, like you said, furloughed, laid off, fired, their whole industry shut down, say you're in the restaurant industry, the first thing you want to do is start collaborating with your friends, your colleagues, your business coach, whoever it is that you have around you. And if you don't have anybody, that's when you need to find somebody. So what you can do is ask for references, ask for information on someone that can help them, because you can't waste any time. You got bills to pay, you got things happening. And I really, really think collaborating is the way to do it. Whether or not you're collaborating on a business idea or not, it doesn't matter. Collaborating is going to give you more information than what's in your head. Because right now you're scared.
Right. Yes, absolutely. One of the things for me is that, it goes back to the old saying, two heads are better than one, right? So what someone may see is, Melinda, this is your best talent, whatever that might be. Then I can say, okay, but I can't do that alone. But if I have a collaborator and they can bring their best thing, right? All of a sudden, we're a team. We're both working on the same thing. And guess what, folks? Now we can make some serious cash because we're doing it together, right? And for me, I kind of like the idea of being able to all of a sudden turn around and say, just the other day I was asking, I asked somebody, I said, I'm changing living the dream. I'm going through some major changes at Living the Dream. We're doing some different things. I've lost a couple of team members for things that they need to go and help their families. These things have happened. So I've had to say, okay, now I need to, one, find some new collaborators. Two, I need to find some new people to work with on a regular basis for Living the Dream. So I turned around and I looked at this person. I said, okay, if we were to work together, because somebody wants to be hired by me, they said, we're to work together. I said, what do you think is my best talent? Right? I just asked her. I said, what do you think is my best talent? I said, because I have an opinion of what your best talent is. So it had to come down to, let's really look if our best talents that we each think we have, either one is something that I want to do, and two, is it something that she wants to do or they want to do to make us a whole piece? It's like a puzzle. If you find them, and even if they're great at something, if they're doing the exact same thing that you're doing, I don't know, unless it's going to be hand in hand, that will help a whole lot. I always say, look at the compliments first. What do you think, Marion, about that?
So you said that this person that you're talking about might want to work with you, but you would pay them. So do you consider that a collaboration?
In a way, I do. And the reason I believe that is because anybody that comes your team, comes part of your team or part of your solution, shall we say, right? Answering the issues that you got to have taken care of. You still have to be willing to work together as a full-on partner, right? Not so much that they have the final say or not so much that they actually have a whole lot of input. But what you are going to say is, I have to respect them for the talents that they have. And are their talents going to collaborate and work great with my talents, right? Because otherwise, it's an employee. And right now, when times are kind of freaky and times are, all kinds of stuff is going on, you might put a greater, I guess, situation where they might keep looking because they might feel like, well, you know what? She might fire me anytime. you know, where if you say, no, what, let's set it up, let's collaborate. What talents do you have best? What do you think are my best talents? Let's see if we can make that work together. Let's see if we can build that. And if we can, okay, now, since I know you need help right now, since I know that you need income, this is what I can pay you. And this is what you will get out of it either way with the extra benefits. You might pay somebody less if they're going to get greater benefits. You may pay somebody more if they're just going to sit there and enter data, right? So, but the thing is that I think that you have to take all that right now with the way we are, with the way that, God, I hate to say it with the COVID, right? I hate to say that word now. I've gotten to where I'm like, ugh, right? But, when you think about it, I think that we have to take everybody's consideration and their situation and say, okay, this is what they are in need of. That's part of collaboration, isn't it?
Absolutely. I'm in agreement with you. So collaborating with people can take on many different aspects. So it could be just somebody you talk to that has a different viewpoint than you do, and you collaborate ideas. It could be business related, where you're structuring your business around a collaboration partner. Whether they get paid or not, it doesn't really matter. If you feel you have trust with them and they can talk to you about things, and same thing, you can both come up with ideas that neither one of them had at the beginning of your collaboration. That's a great thing. Another thing I think is like collaborating with people in your group. So Melinda has a group. It's Living the Dream Business membership group, and you could collaborate with your group members, people who are your peers that are in this group together. You can collaborate ideas on how to make the group better, or you can bring things to the group and collaborate on things like, right now, my group is creating a book together. We're doing, we're collaborating on ideas on what kind of book we can create together. It's it's a great idea to think outside the box, especially right now.
Well, and I'm glad that you said that. I do have another group. Actually, I have several groups, but another specific group. We are working to help and support um, oh gosh, a GoFundMe for a person who needs a kidney. Okay, kidney transplant, and that's very expensive, and medical and family and bills, and especially right now with everything that's going on. So the group that one of the groups that I have, we've gotten together, and I said, okay, look, I'd like to support this GoFundMe. Would anybody else like to? So everybody's like, okay, tell us how. What can we do? So we have created that we're going to have a special event just to support the GoFundMe, right? We've decided this is what we're going to do. And the joy is that it helps everyone. It's a win-win-win. It's going to help the GoFundMe person for the monies and hopefully the support that we get, that they'll be able to receive what they're looking for and to help them get closer to their goals. It's going to help get a lot of entrepreneurs out there in front of other people, because now their products and what they provide are going to be in front of a whole lot of people that maybe they wouldn't have reached to begin with, right? And I think it's going to help the people, because now all these entrepreneurs are going to give them some bonus gifts and some gifts and some of their own skills. They're going to give it to them to hopefully start or get them unstuck, if the situation is, in their own business or home or health or whatever the case might be. And I think I'm real thrilled with this collaboration that we're doing. I'm real thrilled that everybody jumped on board and said, yes, I'm in, count me in, count me in.
Gosh,
And
things are really interesting right now. And so when we're talking about creating income, collaborating, the income doesn't necessarily have to be for you. It could be a charity, like what Melinda's talking about here. So as you're starting to open your mind to collaborating with people, there's so many different directions you can go.
there's a lot right now. There are a lot of, I'm going to say it, there's a lot of entrepreneurs popping up. They're popping up online. They're popping up on other products. They're trying to figure out how to promote. They're trying to figure out how to all of a sudden bring in some serious cash, right? To help that, give them some extra where there was before and now none. So a collaboration could be something as simple as, you know what, let me give you or help you do this part. And this is what you could do for me, right? It could be as simple as, I'll help you learn how to do a structure or an outline or a blueprint or a business plan, and you give me referrals. That's a collaboration. And most people don't understand it could be that simple. I have a lady that I promise you, she by far talks to people. I'm convinced that she talks with a phone in her, she sleeps with a phone in her ear, still giving a pitch. She does great. She does great phone work. Excellent, excellent phone work. Um, and she always says, "Okay, Melinda." She goes, "I can do some phone calls for you if." And she says, "What about if we work like this, this, and this?" And what she wants me to do is actually, I was telling Marion, it's very good. It's just something that I started with a long time ago. So I had to spend a couple of hours to find my documentation and to get everything from eons ago to see if I could fulfill my part of that collaboration, right? So I wanted to make sure that when we were ready to say, okay, we can do this, I'm not going to give it to her halfway. I'm going to give it to her 100% and give her the best that I have, because what she's going to give me is her best. And I think that that's the biggest thing between collaboration. If you're going to do it, give it 100%, do the extra mile, do the extra step, see what it will take to make it equal or equitable for both sides. I don't know. Have you ever been in a situation, Marion, where, you've given more than you could have imagined, or what you think, oh gosh, I've gave so much more. And then by the time they finish their part of it, it's like, did they give it all? They got busy. They did, what did they do? And they didn't do their part of it all the time. Did you think that? Have you done that before?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And
Yeah.
I'm the type of person that just, I want it. I'm not a perfectionist, but when it comes to clients when it comes to my family and my friends, I really want it to be good. I want
Right.
it to sound the best. I want it to look the best. I want it to be clear and concise. That's why I love bullet points. It's like, just be clear about
Right.
what it is that you're offering, what you expect. Because if you're not clear, people get upset and they get frustrated, and so you have to have clarity in your collaboration. I think not an agreement like you go to a lawyer, that type of thing, but if you're going to collaborate with somebody, especially when there's money involved, I think y'all need to have some kind of document that describes what you're going to give and what you expect to receive. That way nobody can be mad at the other because it's all on paper. See, you agreed to this.
That's right. That's right. Well, and it's funny that you say that. One of my dear friends and a great coach, one of the things that she had told me a long time ago, she says, when you're ready to collaborate or swap, right, barter your services, right? The situation is that, okay, when you do that, you have to sit down with each other and give an outline. I'm going to give you this, and what do I get for that? And what do you want for that? It's kind of like, okay, if I'm going to take your greatest skill, okay, because that's what I want to go for. If I'm going to work with you, I want to take what you have best inside of you. Why not make it something that you love doing? Why not make it something that you're good at? Why not do something that you're practiced at if you're going to do collaboration, right? I mean, I don't want somebody who can go mow my lawn when I need somebody in here who can help me with my business, right? So I'm going to take the person and say, I'm looking only for business, and this is the best that I can offer. What do you think that's equitable for your part, right? And she told me, she goes, when you sit down and really talk to people and say, this is what I'm looking for, what do you think that it has the same equal value? When you put it that way, I had a lady and she told me, I said, okay, this is what I'm offering you. This is my pitch, right? And you came to me and said, I'd like to work with you. Can we do a barter? Because I do not have blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I said, this is what I'm going to offer you. This is what I normally charge other people for. And this is the exact outline that we cover. And I just laid it all out. I said, now, what is it that you have to offer me that we can work together? It wasn't that I just didn't know what she had. I said, what is it that you have to offer me? And let's see how we can make it work together. And all of a sudden, when you do that, you discover that now you have to decide, is your value the same as somebody else's value?
So we have an audience member who is saying, this is good stuff. I just asked someone to write out what we are agreeing for our exchange. I'm so glad that you said that, because then there's no questions. You can't go back and, well, I thought you said this, and well, you promised me that. I'm like, no, I never said that. There's none of that, because you have it all laid out, and
Absolutely.
you can adjust it later. Like, let's say you come up with something that was totally unexpected. You could put that in your. And it doesn't have to be a lawyer fee, like a $500 lawyer fee to look over your paper. As long as you both agree to it. When you're creating income together as a collaboration, I think it's really important to be clear. I think that's probably the most important. When you have a large corporation, it can be brought down by people not understanding what your vision is or not understanding the rules, right?
And you're absolutely right, Marian, because one of the things for me, and it's happened to me, I'd hate to tell you how many times, people ask for help and I jump in. Okay. I jump in. Let me help you. Let me do this. Let me do that. Blah, 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 blah. And before you know it, I am really deep. I'm really deep in it. I'm really there helping as much as I can. I give up my time. I rearrange my schedule. I found myself even doing, whatever. And then all of a sudden I realize that here they come and they're like, okay, now that you've done all of mine, what would you like for me to do? And I'm like, what would I like for you to do? No, no, no. We agreed on this. Or they're like, well, I didn't see it. We didn't put it in writing. And I got bit by that a couple of times, but now I go, oh, yes, we did. Yes, we did. We put it in writing. Do you remember? I saved it. It's in your email for the date that we signed it. I put it, I say that. No, no, I put it in your email. We both agreed to it. I said, as of our conversation, please look that up because I have noticed that I've gone beyond what was on the page. Right. And many times people don't like to do that. And I've been bitten a couple of times when people have said, well, I didn't agree for you to do that. You did all that because you were extra. That's you. I've even been called, that's a perfectionist, Melinda. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, thank you. And it's
Wow.
always just given me a fair warning that the next time I do another one of those, I get a little bit more concise every time. I make sure that let's get down to the nitty gritty. I'm going to do this. What are you going to do? This is the value I bring. What's your value? I'm not expecting it to be 100 across the board, 50-50. It never will be. Folks, it never will be. Okay? It just doesn't. But I will tell you that as close as that you can get to it, the collaboration will go on for years. Will go on for years, right? Because you have that respect, you have the clarity, clear, concise, direct to the point, and all of a sudden, boom, now you're talking about a true working collaboration. But you bring your best talents, folks. You bring your passion. You have to bring what you love doing. You have to bring what you're excited about. You have to get ready to live your part of, yes, this is what I want to do, to the table.
I think you also have to think about life circumstances because people have things crop up that were unexpected. So let's say you have this big collaboration project and y'all are going to make an income with it. It's either going to go to charity or go in your pockets. Either way, it doesn't matter. And you have your list of things that you want to talk about and that you both agree on, what you're going to bring, what you expect, what they're going to bring, what they expect. And you've agreed to it and everything looks good. It's like kind of like a prenuptial agreement, right? For a wedding. Nobody really wants to talk about that, but it's so important if you really want to be successful. Okay. Right. And then all of a sudden somebody, gets an illness or their daughter has a baby or, a friend of theirs goes into an Alzheimer's unit because, there's so many things that can happen, right? Yeah. That you have to try to be flexible. You have to try to understand that life happens and that you can make adjustments. Don't get thrown off by it. Just figure out how you can go around that problem or that issue or that illness.
2 years ago, I'm going to tell this story, and I'm so grateful that it occurred. Yes and no. The person that I was collaborating with was a good friend of mine's husband. Okay. And we put it in writing because I worked with her several times. So we got it in writing. This is what we both want to bring, no problem. And her husband had some mad skills. And I was like, oh, yes, I'll take that. Right. And do you know, unfortunately, I'm not being funny about it. The husband passed away in the middle of our project. And I was halfway done and halfway not done. And all of a sudden, my friend, of course, I felt bad for her. And of course, I was, oh my God, how can I help? And she looked right at me and she told me, let me do my best to fulfill that collaboration. And in reality, that's kind of like me telling Marion, let me run all of your shows because maybe I can push a button. It's not going to happen. Marion's going to go, let me think about it, Melinda, because she's going to say, no, she's going to be real polite. And she's going to say, let me think about it, Melinda, because let's face it, that's not my skill. That's not my talent. That's not anything that I know how to do. So when she asked,
people can learn though if they're willing, they can learn, and it may not be up to your expectation of the lady's husband. So that's a decision you have to make.
well, so what happened was that I told her, I said, instead of you fulfilling his part of the collaboration, how about if we be a little bit more flexible and you give me what you do best and I'll figure out how to take care of, his portion, right? But this way she could help fulfill what she believed she would still going to be able, and she did, receive the income that we made from that specific project. And she says, I can use the extra income, until I figure things out. So instead of saying, no, you can't do it, what I did was, let's be flexible. This was not anything. I can chuckle now. And she and I chuckle now. She's like, okay, he could have at least waited until we finished the collaboration. But it was like, it wasn't anything that we had planned. It
Right.
wasn't in our scheduling. We sure didn't have it on, okay, and we'll take this much time out now because, we didn't know it. But we became flexible enough to make it still work for, I'm going to say, for his side of the collaboration and my side. Right? Because obviously she needed the help, and that's why they were in it to begin with. And so, yeah, you have to be flexible. You have to be understandable and understanding. But more than that, for me, is if it's time to review and recorrect or rearrange, or you know what, that one didn't work. Obviously, the collaboration I created with him was not going to be done. So what did I have to do? I put that to the side and said, okay, this is still what we have to get done for this, right? What do you have of this? And let's go from there. I just created a whole different collaboration to still accomplish the goal. And when we both looked at it, to this day, we still do projects together. We still do stuff together because working together became very easy, because we always say, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in my lane.
Melinda,
Yes.
if somebody really wants help with something and they want to collaborate with somebody, how do you feel about giving us your best advice on how to find a good collaboration partner?
I always start out with one. Let's get this clear. One, I don't care what collaboration, good, bad, or ugly, they have to complement your talents. I'm not going to go to Marion and say, let me do your show productions, because that doesn't complement my talent. It does not do me any good, and it will not do Marion any good. That's not a compliment to either one of us. Marion has skills that I don't have. That's a reality. So look at always, what kind of skills are you looking for? Does that person actually have them? If the person you want to collaborate with, do they have them?
What if they don't have anybody that they can think of to collaborate with? What would they do to go and find somebody, like a pool of people they could choose from? Say, well, that one.
But
how do you find them?
I always like referrals, Marion. For the first 2 years of living the dream, I only did referral clients. I always use, at the beginning, I used to say, you have to know somebody to know me, right? You have to know somebody to work with me, because I wanted referrals. I wanted, hey, Marion, do you know anybody who does this? This is what I'm looking for, right? And I respect your opinion. I respect what you do. So if you tell me I have this person that does that, I'm going to look at them. I would go around to a couple of different people that I respect and know, do you know anybody? And I would look at all 3 or 4 or 5 people that they give me, and I would look at all of them. That's the first thing. The second thing is that be certain of what it is that you can provide as well. Be honest with yourself, right? I am not going to ever create somebody a Monet. That's not going to happen. Monet's not going to do it. I'm good with stick figures. Okay. So, so it's not going to be, so be honest. I can take you a picture that will make you stand up, but I cannot draw anything.
Got it.
Right. So know what your own
Referrals.
talents. I'm sorry.
Fantastic. Referrals. That's good. That's a good way to find somebody.
Yeah.
Well,
Referrals.
we're out of time for
Oh, I'm
today.
sorry. I am so sorry. As usual, I was babbling on and I missed the point. Thank you so much for being here, Marion.
No, you do not babble on. This is good information for people who want to create an income. And that's really what all of July has been about. How do we create an income with our talents, our passions, and how do we find collaboration partners so that we can get there faster, because you can't do everything all by yourself. And there's so many things that go involved that are involved in creating income that we just barely scratch the surface. So the next show that we have will be in August, if you can believe it, and we're going to have a whole nother section of things to help you run your business. But I do encourage you to go to livingthedreambusiness.com and look around. There's a membership site. There's a membership program. It's a group that Melinda runs, and you're going to find not only collaboration partners, but you're going to find support. There's a lot of good information in there. There's classes going on. There's just nothing that you possibly would be surprised in a negative way. It's all positive, good people who want to move forward. And I encourage you to do that right now. Go to livingthedreambusiness.com. We're here every single Tuesday, Central Time at 9 o'clock. So feel free to come in, ask your questions. Do whatever you need to be here every week. And if you can't, there are always replays. We're live. And so the replays are on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes. And you know what? I appreciate you guys coming. Subscribe, click the view button, say something nice. Please, it would hurt my feelings if you say something ugly. Please don't talk about my colors. That's the color I am. And otherwise, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing, being a part of us. Marion, as usual, thank you for collaborating with me and working with all of this on me. You do a fabulous job. Thank you very much. I cannot tell you enough. Goodbye, everyone.